Yeah, we've had a lovely Christmas break, and as most people will know now, we moved three players up. Nico, Nick, and Tyler. They did fantastic over Christmas. And since that break, we've been working on a couple of new topics with low blocks, quick counter attacks, finished in the attacks. And it's been a fantastic, I would say, another 6 to 8 weeks where another three players have impressed really well. And we're probably going to look at moving some players over the summer into other teams. Those will be rewarded for the hard work, the punctuality, and for those who have been performing to the high levels. What we've done is we've tweaked our our playing style to home and away. So in the home games we like to be very dominant, and our possession stats are quite high. We create lots of chances, and in our away games in the league, where we've had quite a lot of tough games in the under-21s, we've opted for a slightly more defensive approach, low block, counter-attacking style, and I think the boys have taken to it really well. We had a lot of team meetings about how we should approach that, and the general consensus was that we're quite happy to be a little bit more defensive away, a lot more dominant at home, and it showed in the recent results with the 4-0 win last Friday. Well, there is a lot to speak about with the development of the squad. James Lee, perfect example of a striker who we looked at a few different positions at the start of the season, and he sat me down and said he really wants to play as a strong nine, and he stuck to it. And what he's done in training over the last 4 to 5 months has been remarkable. He's made that position his own, and he's scoring on a regular basis. We work a lot with him on his movement, so it's a perfect example of somebody who was very determined, who has looked at several positions but has said, I'm going to fight for my position, and I'm really proud of him for that. Jordan, who was on the team sheet Friday as well, another player who we were looking at potentially to move around because of his performances recently. He's played in the Bucks League. He's shown a lot of leadership, and he's very consistent with his performance. So, players like that have to be rewarded. And he's got a great partnership with Fazad. So him and Fazad in midfield in our home games are very dominant. And we spoke in the coaches' meetings about where they would fit in other teams as well because of their sort of dedication to training and the extra work they do. We're gonna see what we can do over summer about moving them into potentially other teams because of their the work rate and their performances. Yeah, and it was poor conditions. Fazad's probably more used to that, being from Canada. He's not scared of the cold. But it doesn't surprise me because of what I see in training. So I see Fazad arrive early. I see him train extra afterwards. He trains at the weekend. He's probably one of the most dedicated players. So to see him come on and perform like that wasn't really a surprise to me. I'm just glad that he's done that, so that he's now created a bit more of a name for himself within the academy, which I think he deserves. We're now looking to go back and play some of the teams we've played before Christmas in some of our friendly matches. And we've already started to do that. And what we've realised is it's a great gauge of how we're developing. In the recent 4-0 result last Friday, we'd already played Welldrake in a previous game before Christmas, and we drew 2-2. So what we'll be doing now until the end of the season, at end of May, is seeing where we're at against the teams we've already played. We have a showcase game coming up against North Yorkshire under-18s, who we did beat 2-0 before Christmas, and we'll be looking to build on that and see where we're at previously at the start of the season to now. And I think fitness levels will be high, and with the performances of your James Lee, your Jordans, your Fazad and your Sonny, I think that we can add to that as well with another good defensive performance and maybe a few more goals. this is what's probably the key to the Yellow squad is the vast improvement throughout. I could use so many examples, and two that I use repeatedly, and we use it on match day in training is Eugene Lee and Billy Houghton, both fullbacks who were quite shy and timid, and with a little bit of care and attention and some really good training sessions from them both, they've become very aggressive, very attacking fullbacks. You know, last Friday's performance from Eugene saw him probably have the highest amount of shots in the game from a fullback position, and that just shows where he's come along as well. And their confidence is growing every week, and they're two great examples of how the Yellow team have developed, and they're really coming together. And you can see it off the pitch. You can see how the players have bonded. We've got lots of fun events coming up for team nights out, and that's just going to bring us together even more. And I think by May you'll see a lot of happy players who have really trained well on the pitch, but also enjoyed life in the UK off the pitch. Yeah, well, it's always tricky because they don't know the players. I can see that they may be a bit nervous around me as the coach, but that's expected. And what we've done is we've slowly introduced them to more game time, more training methods. And you can see, you know, yesterday Nathaniel and Dawit came for the optional run down by the river. And that was a tough run. That was 45 minutes, quite a long endurance run, but they did great. And that showed me where they're at. They really want to impress and improve. Paul's had a little bit of an injury, but we've started to play him a little bit more, and he's understanding what concepts and what styles we want to get across in the Yellow team, and he buys into it. You know, it's a joy to coach players that believe in what we're trying to do. No, it's exactly what my job is. That is my ultimate goal, is to move players as high as possible. When a player goes into a higher squad and in a higher league and performs to a higher standard, it's success. So what we'll do is, I can see by the start of next season there could be 7, 8 or 9 players who have moved. And that's what we're hoping to do. I don't want to keep them for too long. My job is to get them technically and tactically ready, to make sure they're in the best physical condition, and if their attitude's great and they're on time and they're positive, then they will move up. And we've seen it happen, and it's difficult for the team. It sets us back a short while, but the players that we've got in return, as long as they're willing to learn and work hard, which we have, then it isn't really a big problem. It doesn't dramatically affect the team, because they're a good set of lads. They're from all over the world, and I find that they're very open with each other, and that they accept the new players very quickly. So it's nice to see.